Hello, and welcome to another edition of Just an Opinion. Today I'm on to part 3 of my 80s teen series, and I'm going to rank my top 10 80s teen comedies. Now, there is definitely some drama in all of these hits, but you're laughing the majority of the film. These selections perfectly capture the essence of the 80s. Now, there are so many classics that fit that description, so narrowing it down to 10 was difficult. Noticeably absent from the list is Back to the Future, which I left off because the majority of the film does take place in the 1950s. Just an opinion. Number 10 is The Wildlife. Cameron Crowe wrote this film, which has been referred to as an unofficial sequel to Fast Times at Ridgemont High in some circles. Summer vacation is the backdrop instead of the school year, with a diverse group of characters all at different points in their lives. Eric Stoltz stars as Bill, a recent high school graduate rushing towards adult independence. His best friend Tom, played by Chris Penn, is his antithesis, a high school wrestling star trying to hold on to his glory days.
There you go. Thomas Drake? The wrestler?
I'll stay.
I know, I saw you at the Invitationals last year. You were great.
Well, thanks, my man.
Sorry.
It's casual.
I think that Tom was intended to be the Spicoli of the film, but didn't quite have the chops that his younger brother did. But another great thing about this film is that it did feature some early performances by some 80s breakout stars, in particular Rick Moranis.
No, I turned you off. I know when I turn somebody off. I turned you off.
I think I better go. I'll just go.
Is it my hair?
It's not your hair. Good night, Harry.
Number 9 is Secret Admirer. This flick stars C. Thomas Howell, a pre-college scandal Lori Loughlin, and my 80s teen crush Kelly Preston. Even Corey Haim has a small part as Howell's younger and opportunistic brother. One love letter falls into the wrong hands several times, leading to misdirected feelings and massive confusion.
I long to have your arms around me and feel your body, huh?
Look!
Huh?
I didn't write that letter. Jesus Christ, Mom, what are you doing with my letter?
One brief moment I could feel your lips against mine, I would die a happy man. You call this nothing!
Daddy, that's my letter! How could you?
Even today, with texting and social media, I still find this message very relevant in how difficult direct communication and sharing your feelings is in your adolescent years. The movie progresses into a comedy of errors.
You see Dr. Spider last night?
Yeah, that was the movie I saw. I love the power of Rod Steiger.
The best ever. I mean, Julie Christie's clothes are Fuck! Shit! God damn it! Fucking shit! These are my brand new pants and I can't fucking...
The performances are great, but it does exemplify how with teenagers and even some adults, that our emotions can be somewhat mercurial due to assumptions and uncertainty of how others feel. Number 8 is Summer School. Mark Harmon stars in this film as Freddie Shoup, along with his dreamy eyes and charismatic smile. Anyhow, he is forced to teach summer school to a group deemed as degenerates. Shirking on his duties as a pedagogue, Shoup at first has fun with his students, becoming their friend and confidant. He is very much an overgrown child himself, but his relatability to the kids turns into the key to teaching them and bridging their education gap.
All of us have been ripped off, right? Payphone steals your money, not enough cheese on your pizza.
My shades keep falling apart.
Perfect. Now you're gonna write that company a letter, and you're gonna see action if your letter is clearly written, and your letter threatens to hurt their business. And is signed.
This brings about the comedy within the diversity and the clever writing of all the characters, in particular Chainsaw and Dave.
Fish completely. Dave, I agree with you. I'll go a step further. Sure, Leatherface. He wore a mask made out of human skin and he hung people on meat hooks. But hey, we've all got quirks. I've got them. You've got them, Dave. That's what makes this character so compelling. Thumbs up from me.
Same here.
To sum it up, I'm Chainsaw.
I'm Dave.
We'll see you at the movies.
This flick is a lot of fun, and it almost makes the idea of summer school fun. Almost. Number 7 is License to Drive. This Corey movie is brilliant, showcasing the teen milestone of getting your driver's license.
If it spilled on me, probably burned me, huh? Speak up, son.
Yeah.
Nobody likes to get burned, do they?
No.
So it's real simple. You burn me, you fail. You don't, you pass.
Or not getting your driver's license.
We were able to retrieve your test results from the computer. And I suppose you already know you failed.
Haim stars as Les, and Feldman stars as Dean. The first half of the film represents how teens exaggerate their world as being a prison, when having to rely on their parents and the school bus for transportation. But with a driver's license comes freedom. The second half of the film has Les sneaking out for a date with a young Heather Graham. Everything that could go wrong does, as the date turns into a wild adventure with his buddies.
Oh, let's stop the car!
Uh-oh.
On a side note, I've always been a fan of special edition DVDs featuring alternate and deleted scenes. Fans of this film should really check out the special edition DVD. Some of the scenes from the early cut are just bizarre and thankfully did not make it into the final movie. Number 6 is Real Genius. In this picture, teen prodigy Mitch is recruited for an elite technical school. But even being surrounded by those with similar high IQs, he still finds himself as an outcast. Most of the teens use their intelligence for fun activities versus their schoolwork.
Welcome to Pacific Tech Smart People on Ice.
But some of the students also use their gifts to play pranks on Mitch. Growing up, he was revered as a genius and a scholar, but it left a huge void in developing social skills to make friends and also deal with bullies. Everything changes for Mitch, though, when Chris, played by Val Kilmer, becomes his mentor figure.
In high school, they stuffed me in a mailbox. Did I tell you that?
My teachers disliked me because I was smarter than they were. The students hated me because I blew the bell curve. Does that sound familiar? Mitch, I was just like you.
Together, they become compadres, Chris teaching Mitch not to take everything so seriously, but Mitch does help Chris mature a little bit himself. This movie is a college-like setting, but the characters are teens, showcasing how emotional and intellectual maturity do not always coincide. Number 5 is Just One of the Guys. This film challenges sexism in a very unique way. Joyce Heiser plays Terry, a disgruntled teen who feels that she lost out on a journalism internship due to her gender. Her solution is to enroll at a neighboring high school, but as a teenage boy, and write a new article based on these experiences. As to be expected, there is a high amount of comedy as Terry struggles living her double life.
Shirts! Skins!
Got a problem, son?
Oh, stomach.
Her amorous brother Buddy tries to help with this.
You got balls now. Use them. Say, baby, what's happening? I'm a lean, mean sex machine, and that be the way it is.
Say, baby, what's happening? I'm a lean, mean sex machine, and that be the way it is.
But Terry also experiences a fair amount of emotional growth herself, prompting her to rock the boat of her seemingly happy life she had beforehand. As odd as it may sound, if 80s wardrobe were to come back in fashion, I would totally dress like Terry. Heiser's overall performance was brilliant, and leave it to a woman to teach a man how to dress. Another casting highlight of this film was William Zabka as the school intimidator. I'm glad to see he didn't quit the bullying profession after his defeat in The Karate Kid. Number 4 is Can't Buy Me Love. This movie shows the emptiness of high school superficialities. A pre-McDreamy Patrick Dempsey plays Ronald, a desperate nerd. He comes up with a plan to pay off his high school crush so that she'll pretend to like him, thus he believes he'll become popular in the process. And it works, but actually a little bit too well. Ronald soon becomes in demand, a snob, and even a trendsetter. Showing how aimlessly people follow what is popular despite how absurd they look. But unfortunately, he becomes corrupt with the power of popularity and hurts many in the process. Ironically, once the cool kids figure out how Ronald became popular in the first place, he is ostracized from the group. It just goes to show you how hollow the concept of popularity is. And only after losing everything does Ronald understand the importance of real character.
Cools, nerds, your side, my side. Man, it's all bullshit. It's just tough enough to be yourself.
Number 3 is Teen Wolf. Never has there been a more creative film with the message of just be yourself. Michael J. Fox shines as Scott, an average teen that wishes he weren't so ordinary. He gets more than he bargained for when he finds out he's a werewolf. At first he's embarrassed, not even sharing this information with his best friend Boof.
If you ever need someone to talk to, if something's bothering you, I'll understand.
Not this time, Boof. You won't understand.
But he becomes an overnight sensation once his secret is out. He's now a star basketball player and the most sought-after person in high school.
Must be doing okay. Suddenly it seems so easy.
The dark side of popularity is revealed, as most who latch on to him have their own agenda. And Scott's judgment becomes somewhat clouded, and not even the guidance of his coach can help him.
Never get less than 12 hours sleep. Never play cards with a guy who's got the same first name as a city. And never go near a lady who's got a tattoo of a dagger on her body. Now you stick with that. Everything else is cream cheese.
Scott does not necessarily become corrupt with his new abilities, but there is temptation to take things a little bit too far.
You gotta get a hold of it, son.
Number 2 is Fast Times at Ridgemont High. This film covers so many cultures and subcultures of high school in a hilarious fashion. It does not have a clear-cut protagonist or narrative, just more or less showing the everyday lives of several diverse characters over the course of one school year. It does tackle several serious subjects, but comedy is the most consistent tone, particularly with Sean Penn's performance as Spicoli.
This is U.S. history. See the globe right there.
Really?
Hey. May I come in?
You're causing a major disturbance on my time.
I've been thinking about this, Mr. Hand. If I'm here and you're here, doesn't that make it our time?
Parental guidance is somewhat absent in this film. Most of the teens are arbitrarily choosing their own path based on impulsive decisions or advice from those in a higher grade.
It's no problem, Red. What you need is my special 5-point plan.
Come on, Damone, I need real help here.
What do you mean? Hey, men have died trying to obtain this valuable information, you know. But I'll give it to you for free.
Okay, what's your 5-point plan?
It is amazingly authentic, fully capturing the zeitgeist of the 1980s and all of the components. Number 1 is Better Off Dead. When you're a teen and your heart is broken, you think the whole world is against you. This was certainly the case with Lane, flawlessly played by John Cusack.
The problem here is that my little brother this morning, he got his arm caught in the microwave and my grandmother dropped acid and she freaked out and hijacked a school bus full of penguins.
After being dumped, he routinely finds himself in the oddest of circumstances, which only contribute to his sadness.
Truly a sight to behold. A man beat the once great champ, washed up, aged ex-champion.
All right, let's go.
The majority of the flick has Lane believing he would rather be This picture is loaded with quirky scenarios and eccentric characters.
Johnny.
4 weeks. 20 papers, that's $2 plus tip.
Gee, Johnny, I don't have a dime. Sorry.
Didn't ask for a dime. $2.
The writing is genius, with the immense amount of detail in the atmosphere and the background characters. Trying to explain the humor of this movie for someone who hasn't seen it is quite difficult considering how unique it is.
Gee, I'm real sorry your mom blew up, Ricky.
You just have to sit down and invest your time in the film's universe.
Voulez-vous coucher avec moi ce soir?
Thank you so much for watching, and please do leave a comment. I'll be back soon, but this time I'm going to shift the focus back to television with an episode on sitcom robberies. I hope you check it out. Until then, remember, with great power comes great responsibility, no pain, no gain, and remember to pay your paperboy.
She's probably somebody.